Hey y'all, this is the Space City Sports Talk podcast, the Astros edition. Now, prior to this recording, this was before the big news, but Jose Altuve has signed a 5-year extension. He's an Astro for life. Enough said. Now let's get to this intro. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this brand new episode of the Space City Sports Talk podcast.
Hey, shout out to the Sports Talk podcast,
the Astros edition. I'm Marco Alvarado alongside the co-host
Corben Carter-Dixon here. What's up, people? Your boys are back. The mics are back, and we're talking smack,
baby. And Corb, I always said this back then whenever we were getting started with an episode, but a lot has happened since the last time we recorded. Do you want to fill in the fans on what happened?
I'll fill in on with a little snippet of the stuff right before we even get into it. Most importantly, Astros have actually took off again, and this time Papa Crane is not playing no games, actually. Everybody called him cheap, but this time we actually hit the big fish with a person that's not named Aroldis Chapman, but
I know you threw that in on purpose.
Hater Nation has came to Houston after almost a decade.
What goes around comes around, am I right? It's almost a full circle moment. You can't really make this stuff up.
Basically, the way I summed it up as having Josh Hader back is after almost 10 years, it's almost like CM Punk were returning to WWE almost in 10 years, too.
Yeah, that's a pretty good explanation there. Mm-hmm. Other than that, a lot of relief pitchers are starting to leave. Hector Neris has signed a 1-year deal with the Cubs. Phil Maton is on his way to St. Petersburg, Florida, the Trop. He's going to be playing for the Tampa Bay Rays.
You want me to be honest about that?
Yeah, sure.
Phil Maton looks like a Tampa Bay Rays
guy. He does.
He gives me that. And I swear to God, if his numbers somehow, if he has career high numbers, actually, for the Rays, I'm just going to be like, okay. Typical Rays guys, they always come out of nowhere. I'll just say the laughing stock of players or the last of them, and they just somehow have career years. So,
and going back to the topic of Josh Hader, yes, your local 9 here in Houston, Texas, have signed relief pitcher, or as I should say, closer pitcher, a true closer, to a $95 million deal over the next 5 years. He pulled out the checkbook for this one. Dana Brown and Jim Crane made stuff happen. Look, Astros at the beginning of the offseason were like, okay, what are they going to do? Are we going to get some batting help or are we going to get some relief pitching help? Mind you, we needed the relief pitching help badly because of how everybody's contracts was coming up to an end, unfortunately. And we got a big one.
And from looking at, recent numbers, actually, remember when the Sugar Diaz had got his contract with the Mets, which was supposed to be like 102 million,
yeah.
Actually.
Yeah.
Based on research that I found is that was he's technically not the highest paid closer, actually. Josh Hader is, because part of that contract from Edwin Diaz's contract was actually deferred money. So he's at 93 point something million dollars, so which technically makes Josh Hader the highest paid reliever.
95 mil.
Yeah.
That's the starting point was 95 mil over the next 5 years.
Mm-hmm. Welcome to no state taxes.
Corb, my question to you, how do you feel about this signing? Because I know back in 2021, whenever SCST was flourishing, you always made it a point that you wanted Josh Hader in the Astros uniform. And now, look what you got. You got what you wanted.
Oh,
I'm happy for you.
Oh, of course. Of course I'm happy, because I just feel like 2015, that was Jeff Lunau's biggest mistake of all things, and to actually get people involved, and for other Houston Astros fans out there to actually know about this. So back in 2015, the Astros were actually trying to get back on track. New foundation and everything.
We made the playoffs that year.
We did make the playoffs indeed. Except during the season, we made this hellacious trade where you involve Josh Hader, Brett Phillips, Domingo Santana, and Adrian Hauser, by the way, in exchange with the Brewers for Carlos Gomez and the so-called rat named Mike Fiers.
Huh.
I thought that was the most ridiculous trade of all time in our franchise history, because don't get me wrong, Adrian Hauser is a dog too. He's a dog too. But Josh Hader to me was like, although he wasn't drafted in our house, but we traded for him from I believe from Baltimore. And I was just like looking at his stuff. I was just like, okay, he definitely has like good reliever stuff. But well, obviously look at what Craig Counsell, correct?
Yeah.
Look what Craig Counsell, he made him into the monster that he is now. And now that he's a 5-time All-Star, 3-time reliever of the year, and he also holds some of the record. He actually holds some of the records from like that 2018, 2019 to all the way to like 2023, and it's ridiculous, to be honest with you. And I'll be honest, I gotta give Papa Crane credit. I gotta give him credit because many people have always speculated, he's or assumed he's cheap. The word that always keeps going around, cheap and stuff. But to me, be honest with you. Okay, I don't have credentials from the Astros whatsoever. Neither do you. But I'll say this: I think Dana and Papa Crane had a sit down with Ryan Presley about this before they even did it.
Oh yeah, they did. 100% did. It's been confirmed that they talked on the phone about Hader and
And I'll be honest, Ryan Presley is not a spring chicken.
Oh, really?
The man 35 years old, so it's like you need that guy to actually go in there and actually, basically just get out in the ninth inning.
And what have I been saying?
Nope, I don't even want to hear it, Marco, because you did this just like you did with Garrett Cole, okay? You did the same thing. And you never gave. Yes, okay. Guess what? Ryan Presley blew some games in which we gave us a heart attack, basically. But guess what? Every once in a while, when he blew a save, he always found a way to bounce back on the next game. Yes, his strikeout percentage wasn't like at the par that it was last season and stuff like that. But guess what? Do I even care if it's a strikeout, a pop up, or a ground out? Guess what? The man got outs in the ninth inning. Period.
Is that all you have to say?
The man is 11 for 11 on saves in the postseason. So basically, he takes it up a notch in the postseason. So thank God for this signing. That takes a little bit of pressure off of him. Although you're gonna mostly put Josh Hader in the ninth, which is the correct move, actually. At the same time, let's not say we're not going to see Ryan Presley or Brian Abreu sometimes in the ninth just to give Josh Hader some days off.
The death combo punch, 7, 8, 9, Brian Abreu, Ryan Presley, and Josh Hader. It does not get any better than that.
And I actually did, I'll tell you this, I did come up with a nickname for that.
Okay.
You know what the term hap means?
Lay it on me.
It's like a sign of luck. With Hader, Abreu, and Presley, to be honest, there's no hap.
There's no luck.
Yeah, there's no luck. And that's the acronym for them. No hap.
No
luck.
hap. So we went from Hater Nation to no hap.
Because it's the nickname for the whole back end of the bullpen, because there's really going to be no luck for anybody between the 7th and the 9th.
Yeah. Okay. I see it.
Good luck really, going past those guys, really. That's really it.
The one person I see as a liability out of all those three?
I already know you going to say.
Yeah.
Yeah, I already know you going to say it.
Yes. And to your word, he's not a spring chicken.
Yeah, he's not a spring chicken.
So
and eventually we got to find ways to, get around that, too.
That's true. Mauricio Dubon won his arbitration case. He's going to get paid $3.5 million this year.
I'm actually happy for Mauricio Dubon, actually, because I just felt like, really, I'll be honest, there's really no other, I don't think there's no other second baseman, outside of, Mookie Betts, I think, who got nominated for 2 Gold Gloves in 2 different positions. Mauricio Dubon, not saying he's Mookie Betts, but Mauricio Dubon did take a big step this year in filling in the role for Jose Altuve when he had the thumb injury and stuff like that.
Had a 20-game hit streak.
Yeah, had a 20-game hit streak to begin with. Yeah, he cooled off. I'll be honest, he should have made the All-Star team. But that's like another Josh Reddick type of case. Yeah, and so it's like he played phenomenal defense at his position, and also, I don't care what anybody says. Yes, he may not be the true outfielder, but he got outs when they needed to count. He even threw guys out when he needed to count, a la Giancarlo Stanton up in New York. Actually, I remember that time when I was like, there's no way, Stan is really gonna make it to third base. So I'm actually proud of Mauricio, and do you really believe that he can be our utility man going forward after this year?
Yes.
Because to be honest with you, he's really proved to me a little bit more as a utility man more than what Marwin Gonzalez and Aledmys Diaz proved.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And that's no disrespect to Marwin. Marwin did a whole lot for us, during those years. And it's just, I feel like Mauricio Dubon brought a little bit more.
Yeah. And I agree. The boy has a cannon of an arm. He's getting his swing, he's getting that corrected thanks to the help of the Astros and Yordan Alvarez. He's using Yordan's bat when he goes up to the plate. Obviously, they're doing something good, and it's working. If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Mm-hmm. And to go back to the Josh Hader situation, and with Ryan Presley being able to accept for what the situation is in order for us to move forward, let me give you a little quick insight on what I had looked up actually, and this is really a similar situation in which not only do our young baseball fans but also my old school baseball fans will actually understand this from. Back in 1977, the New York Yankees, really this league has felt like it's really built on the New York Yankees, but get to the point. Sparky Lyle, who was actually the main closer for the Yankees back in 1977 when they won the World Series, who also won the AL Cy Young, by the way, during that year. Guess who they signed the next year to be the closer? It was Goose Gossage in 1978, and this man had came off from the Pirates actually. And from which, the way they did that, the bottom line result of it is that not only did Goose Gossage win, I believe, did not win reliever of the year that year, they also went to the World Series, and they actually won the World Series.
So you're saying history has a chance of repeating itself, just with better talent?
Basically, with better talent. And
the Astros have the talent.
And if I was a betting man, I will definitely bet that Josh Hader will be an AL reliever of the year.
You're set on that? You're settled?
I'm really settled on that.
You're all in.
Because I'm very confident in Josh Hader's stuff, but also it always depends on matchups. So it's like we may not always see him every once in a while, out there in the ninth inning. It got to be somebody else. Many people don't like that, but at the same time, Joe Espada is going to know what he's doing. So basically, majority of the time, we are going to see Josh Hader in the ninth. And
in Espada, I trust.
In Espada, yeah, same here. In Espada, I trust. Who I did call out. I called out during this. I think it was 2021 or 2022. I said Joe Espada going to be the next manager.
You did say that. I do remember you saying that. Well, that's basically it for Astros. There ain't nothing else we can talk about. I mean, we figured out the death punch, the 1-2-3 combo.
Mm-hmm.
Mauricio Dubon. Our arbitration case. Spring training hats just dropped. It's just an all orange hat.
Mm-hmm. And plus,
it's pretty nice.
And plus, we got all the arbitration cases out the way.
Yeah,
actually.
I think that's
we got Fromber out the way. We got Tucker out the way. Basically, and we even got Chaz out the way. And when I looked at it, it's like everyone took less, in which I really feel like this is going to be a leeway going into dealing with the Tucker extension, because I really feel like that if we can get the good chunk of Tucker's career, into heading into his peak, I feel like that's really the guy that you should really build off of, because I feel like Papa Crane is now coming to his senses of really letting Dana Brown run the show.
As he should.
And you saw that, when he was at the press conference. Well, not with the press at the press conference, but when Josh Hader was actually signing his contract. I'm thinking to myself, okay, Papa Crane is definitely Papa Crane does. Oh my God, this is really clicking for me. Papa Crane was really like sitting there with him at his sign. So I was like, okay, he's really bought into this for real, because that just shows how that to me shows that you're a really committed owner. Because when I feel like when some of these owners like that don't show up at these little press conferences and stuff, you only question yourself is, dang, are they really like bought into this? And I really believe that Papa Crane really is bought into all of this.
Another person that played a pivotal role in signing Josh Hader, Jeff Bagwell.
Jeff Bagwell definitely is an advisor. I'm just glad he's not the one giving out the money. Remember, oh God, Montero giving out Montero contracts and stuff like that, and the Jose Abreu contracts and stuff like. I was just like, okay.
But even then, the Jose Abreu contract wasn't even.
It wasn't that bad.
No, it's not.
Yeah, and that's another thing. That's another guy who I believe on this team that will And for people, I swear, this is how I know I don't like, critiquing everybody who does not really watch baseball like that. But if you really pay attention, we gonna get to him later. But we're gonna get to him later.
We're talking about fellow SCST member Jorge Ramos, my cousin. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, that's my dog. But just the thing, if people really watch baseball, knowing Jose Abreu, yes, he didn't put up the monster numbers that he put in the team that really Chicago doesn't claim.
Gee, I wonder where you got that one from.
Yeah, I got that from you. And most importantly is that knowing Jose Abreu, he always gets off to a slow start.
Yeah, and this past year it was his stuff didn't start clicking until about mid-season?
Basically
before the All-Star break. That was right before the All-Star break.
Basically in Oakland, I would say.
Yeah.
Basically in Oakland.
Speaking of Oakland, what the heck is going on with them? Vegas doesn't even want them now. They want them to research their stuff in Oakland. I feel bad.
They're really just trying to find a ballpark for them to play in
while this whole stadium in Vegas gets built.
Yeah, and I really did have plans to try to go to Oakland too.
The Coliseum.
But they don't even claim them either.
The Black Hole.
Unfortunately.
They claim the football team that's not even there more than...
No. Just to take it off the Astros a little bit, y'all, but just talk baseball. The Oakland A's back in the 70s and heading into the 80s, they both were relevant.
Back when Earl's place was bumping.
Yeah, basically. And now it's basically turned into a total abysmal type of underworld down there, and I just feel like that's just depressing.
It is what it is, but I don't really care because it's a rival in the AL West. Other than that, Corb, we have nothing else to say about this team at the moment, except for delayed contract extensions for Jose Altuve and Alex Bregman.
Me personally,
it's been said by
Brown
and Crane that we're gonna lock them in. All right, well, time's ticking.
I don't like to say this, and I know Alex Bregman is my guy, but I feel like
he's gone.
Yeah, I feel like he's gonna walk after this season.
He's gone. I feel it too.
As long as I
wouldn't be surprised.
And I think I know why, because it still plays into the Tucker situation too.
Yeah, him too. I say you got to pay Kyle Tucker.
You have to pay Kyle Tucker, because I'll be honest, I really feel like he's the best right fielder in the game to me. Really, I do. Because, Mookie is getting up in age, in which he's now playing second base. Aaron Judge somehow is playing center field. We'll see how long that experiment lasts, but I always respect everybody. But I really think that Kyle Tucker really has a chance to actually be, now that Ohtani is out of the AL for good, basically. I feel like Kyle Tucker has a chance, either him or Jordan, to actually win MVP this season.
I see it too, and that's a bold statement, and I agree with it.
Because I really believe that looking at Kyle Tucker's makeup, obviously he didn't play the elite defense that we saw in 2022, although he still was a finalist for Gold Glove, unlike someone of the powerless Rangers named Adolis Garcia. No disrespect whatsoever, respect him, but god dog, I wish Kyle Tucker would have played better defense last year just to prove a point. But I really think this year he can try to actually get 30-30, and I actually think he can really, because he really has the whole makeup of a 5-2 player. Yeah. Period.
He does.
And I'll just leave it at that.
Well, again, we can only speak for so much at the moment. We're not even a month in before spring training happens?
It was counting down when I last remember. It was two weeks before.
Exactly. So keep it locked in on Space City Sports Talk for all your Astros needs, media, news. We're going to be back and forth on this, because I think this is going to be a very, very interesting season for our local 9 here in Houston, Texas, at Grand Minute Maid Park. But only time will tell.
Yeah, only time will tell, and we have to look into it. And plus, once the season starts, we got to see what's missing. And also, there's one other thing there's one other thing, Marco, that I do have to bring up back about this before we move on. Since we have your 7th, your 8th, and your 9th inning guy, who takes over the 6th inning?
Either your starting pitcher or one of the other relievers you have in the bullpen.
And the main 3 candidates that I have are Seth Martinez, Blanco, or
Montero.
Yeah, Montero, but I was thinking of the Dubin kid.
Oh, yeah. From he was going back and forth
Back to
Sugarland.
back to AAA.
Yeah.
I feel like he can actually have a greater impact actually, in which we actually see some stuff, because I feel like he does have some stuff that make you like fall off the table basically.
Was it another year of the rookies bullpen wise?
Well,
look what happened last time, and look at the success that the Astros had.
I'll be honest. I don't care what anybody says. I believe Arrighetti might come up this season actually, but with the Astros, it's always don't get me wrong. Every other team around the league does have a top prospect in the top 100. So there was none of us that was on there, but we always have an out of nowhere rookie that always makes a.
Forrest Whitley. If he stays healthy, it's already been noted that Dana Brown will bring him up real quick if he could stay healthy.
I believe he'll be a solidified bullpen role.
There you go.
Because to be honest with you, I just think that far as going into the 6th inning, we really need an Andrew Miller type reliever.
Hell, you can add Hunter Brown into the mix. He can take over the 6th. It's if he's not starting.
JP France and Hunter Brown really have to step up this season for me.
There you go. So that's
as starters.
If they get that starting role. Because throughout the year there's some people that are gonna become starters and some people that are gonna be coming out of the bullpen.
And
happens every year.
And let's not forget one other thing. Salsa's coming back this season.
Another starter.
Who might be coming a bullpen role.
And apparently Lance is coming back as well.
Oh God. Every time I hear Lance coming back, I feel like glass shatters around me.
And we're not talking about Stone Cold Steve Austin. We're talking about
talking about
hardcore glass here.
Yeah, we're really talking. No, I'm talking about when Lance comes back. I feel like his body is glass, to be honest with you, because I trust me. I want Lance to rejuvenate his career. To rebuild his career and stuff like that. But I feel like it's the time to put your ego aside and actually do what's best for the team. And I really want Lance as a long relief guy, because I feel like if he becomes a long relief guy, his career will last a little bit longer. Because we have a bunch of pitchers on this team who can actually start. It's just you can't have all of them. Somebody has to be in that bullpen, and I feel like taking pressure off of him being in the bullpen will solidify everything, and we can build around JP France and Hunter Brown and whoever else comes out the farm system.
A new era is dawning for the Astros, and right now it's looking pretty damn good. And I'm excited. I know you're excited, but Corb, all we can possibly do right now is just sit down and wait for spring training. We start after spring training, then we'll see what's really going on.
Main thing I'm glad is that I can say Hater Nation has arrived in Houston. Thank God for the next 5 years.
I kind of wish it was a Aroldis Chapman, but it's okay.
Oh, will you let go? Why would you want to? This is the part where I get mad at you all the time. Why would you want an anti-Astro on this team?
Again, he's not an anti-Astro. I've already said that.
And I call cap.
There was a whole video of him being buddies with all the people in the infield.
That don't mean nothing.
How do you know that? They're not going to go up and you're going to dap up somebody you don't like? Exactly.
I mean, whoever talks, trash about us, obviously, but at the same time, though, I'm just like, come on. I'm like,
he knows the Astros has his number.
Yeah, everybody from Jose Altuve to Chas McCormick, for God's sake.
Well, there you go.
And besides, I heard about his little thing of being signed to the Pirates. I just feel like that's more trade bait waiting to happen.
It's exactly what it is. Can you imagine if the Astros somehow land him miraculously?
I'm just going to look at you crazy, really.
Bullpen depth. Put him into the 6th. Why not?
Oh, God, and kill us again.
Possibly the 7th.
Yeah, and lose a game for us.
You really don't like this man, don't you?
Don't get me wrong. I'll say it like this. I love Aroldis Chapman, but I also see what happens as the moment gets bigger. Yes, I know you're going to bring up the Cubs situation in 2016. That was that year, but then look what happened afterwards.
He went back to the Yankees.
No,
back to a sorry team.
That's not what I'm talking about.
But he went back to the Yankees though.
Yeah, but look at all the choke moments.
Look at his situation over there in New York.
Once again, look at all the choke moments.
That's not his fault. he was in a situation to where that was gonna happen.
You and me can talk about this later.
Then him and that smart manager of Aaron Boone, they got into it, butted heads. Why do you think he left New York as soon as his contract ended?
The man had a lot of choke moments.
Really?
You gotta admit that. You just
It
gotta
wasn't
admit
his
it.
fault. He's not calling his own pitches.
Once again,
He's
you
not calling
gotta
his pitches.
admit the man started choking after 2016. That's all I'm gonna say, Marco. I'm just telling you.
He won
Jose
two-
Altuve is a
Okay.
part of that problem.
I understand that, but if you can't beat them, join them.
You're going with your Randy Orton take?
No, I'm just going with a basic take, just in general. He joined the Rangers. What did he do? What did he do on the Rangers that affected the Astros? Think about it.
Other than getting smacked around by Jordan Alvarez?
So can you imagine what he could do with a part of a winning team? Not saying the Rangers are a winning team. I mean, they beat us in the ALCS and
Fair and square, but at the same time, we're coming back to reclaim what's ours.
yeah, literally. And they won the World Series, but whatever.
I just felt like, I'll be honest with you, since we were so good on the road last season, and that's another thing, they need to really take home field advantage, which I felt like we've been so invincible for the last few years. I don't know what the hell happened last year, but I'm just thinking this year, I just felt, I'll be honest with you, the whole scenario last season, I thought that if we I didn't want us to win the division last season.
Why?
Think about it. We were better on the road than we were at home, because I feel like if we would have won all those road games, and stuff like that, I feel like there would have been a less of pressure at home, in which we could just take care of our business on the road and then just take care of everything at home.
Speaking of being at home, do you see that they have scaffolding up at Minute Maid inside the stadium in center field?
Yes, I did.
I wonder what's going on.
That's a good question.
We shall see.
But
again, we have to just sit and wait.
Mm-hmm.
We have to sit and wait. Well, I think this concludes this episode of Space City Sports Talk Astros. Again, I mean, there isn't much we could talk about. I think we've talked about everything we can.
Yes.
So keep it locked in on here. This has been the Space City Sports Talk Podcast Astros edition. I'm Mark Alvarado.
I'm Corbin.
And we'll see y'all later.
Peace.
Deuces.